What is up, Sheepdog Nation? What's going on? Welcome to another podcast episode of the Changing the Culture podcast with your host, me, Autumn Clifford. As always, super stoked to have you here. What another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Holy shit, happy to have you. Today, what we're going to be talking about is what to do when you feel like you just can't, right? Maybe you can't deal with what's going on. You can't handle the bullshit. You can't handle another second of people and their idiocracy and the small minds that just seem to be everywhere, right? What to do when you feel like you have hit a plateau. What to do when you just feel like you can't move forward, right? That is what we're going to be talking to you about. Today I'm coming to you straight from my car. So if the sound quality sucks, I'm sorry. Not really. But anyway, so now you know why. So moving on. So I want to talk to you about this because I have a lot of clients, a lot of first responders been reaching out to me, talking to me about, that they're trying really hard to get to, A, B, and C points, and they're just unable to do so. They have been unable to get promoted. They've been unable to lose the weight. They've been unable to be happy, to be productive, to be more happy in their marriage. That's a big one. To save money, to start a side gig, to become inspired to start that side hustle, or just inspired to do more things. I have a lot of people complaining that they just feel like all they do is work all the time. And so I wanted to come in and just kind of address that together. So what I want to tell you is that, first off, you're not alone, okay? To all my first responders and spouses listening to this, you are not alone. You are not alone thinking that life sucks sometimes, that shit's hard. You are not alone when feeling like nothing you're doing is working, that you feel stuck. Okay. I want you to know that many of us really fully believe that we are totally in this whole journey of life all by ourselves. But the funny thing is we all have the exact same problems. They come down to basic, simple problems. Always when I'm coaching, it's always the exact same thing. And, we all have it. It just shows up differently. And the exact same thing, that we all have are these made up lies in our head that we tell ourselves over and over and over again. And everybody has different lies that you tell yourself. I've told myself for years that I'm fat. Years. I remember I just looked at a picture of myself the other day and I'm at my heaviest I've ever been. And I'm like, you know what? If that was what I looked at, like at the heaviest I've ever been, like I'm doing all right. Like life's okay. As much as I was in a catastrophe in my mind and I thought it was like this huge, and I don't sound super emotional about it right now, but like if you could just understand that I would put myself in complete hysteria, like calling my mother crying, calling my husband crying, just really, really down and hard on myself, refusing to go out anywhere, just really hating myself for honestly no good reason at all. It was just all because I made up these lies in my head. And that's what you're doing right now. If you're telling yourself that you're stuck, let's say you're stuck, okay? It's very common. Let's say you feel you're stuck on the weight loss journey. Well, you need to go back and listen to the episode prior to this one, and realize that it's much more of an emotional journey than just calories in versus calories out. But you're just telling yourself that. So as we tell ourselves, I'm stuck, no matter on what it is, maybe you're stuck in your marriage, you're stuck in your job, maybe you're stuck on night shift and you hate that night shift, or you're stuck being a boots on the ground officer and you can't get promoted, you're stuck in life in general, you just feel really stuck, you feel uninspired. What I want to tell you is that those are all just lies in your head. You make them up. They're literally made up. And so you have created these beliefs and they're false. They're false beliefs. That's what you've created. And what happens is you believe them. So they start by being a thought. So you have a thought, and the thought is you have looked at yourself and you're like, I'm not blank enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not successful enough. I'm not moving up fast enough. I am not inspired enough. Like I'm not as motivated as so-and-so. I'm not as smart as so-and-so, whatever, you come up with, whatever you say, whatever you think, whatever that belief is. But the truth is that is not the truth. That is a thought you had. And then you started thinking this thought over and over and over again. And so what happened is your brain's like a computer. And so when you think something like, I'm not skinny enough, then your brain is like, okay, well, I'm going to show you all the reasons why you're right. And that's how our brains work. And like attracts like, right? So laws of attraction, we've all seen that happen. Like attracts likes. Everybody knows it. Everyone says it. So then what happens? So then you start really seeing all these bullshit made up reasons as to why you're not skinny enough, because you can't be in a relationship, like you can't get a spouse because you're too fat. You start failing all these PT tests. You start not being able to fit in your uniforms. All these things, right? Completely false. But because that's what your new belief is, that's what you get. And so I'm here to tell you is you want to change your beliefs. You want to recreate your beliefs, and you want to make them whatever you want them to be. That's how you're going to get unstuck. That's how you are going to find yourself where you want to be. I will tell you a secret of mine that my mentors, my coaches who have been on the podcast, who I'm going to continue to get on the podcast, who I'm going to get to continue to be around all of us so that we can just be in that energy more. My coaches have taught me this, and I'm going to teach you this, and it has been life-changing for me, is you literally have to change your thoughts. So, and when you do that, you literally go, okay, what's the new thought? Like, I am good enough. Perfect. You are good enough, right? New thought. So the thing is, it's not good. It's not good enough. It will not work if you just think that new thought one time. Like, you can't just think it one time and think that it's going to be good, right? You've got to think it over and over and over again, and it has to become deliberate. And then you have got to prove to yourself why you actually are good enough. So there becomes like, so then you can, that like attracts like, and then then you start believing it. After you say it over and over and over to yourself for days on end, you really do start believing it, because the universe starts showing you what that new thought is. Okay. Now, you may be sitting there going, Autumn, well, I believe I'm poor because that's what my bank tells me. And I can't just sit there and say I'm rich. No, I agree. I mean, there's a whole entire process that goes on to it. There's a prior episode. You can go back to the one where I feature Amanda Francis, and she breaks down money. She's my coach, and she breaks down money, and she'll tell you exactly what she's taught me. So I'm not repeating myself. But the thing is about that is, what you need to do is you've got to find reasons that prove to you that you actually aren't poor. So if you're feeling poor, well, what do you have? Well, if you're listening to this podcast, then you have a computer or you have a cell phone. They're not that poor, because these motherfuckers are, they're expensive nowadays. If you have some money, then you're not poor. If you have a job, right? Like you have to start telling yourself new beliefs, and you have to redefine what you believe poor is. And that's exactly what you need to do when you feel stuck. You need to redefine with what you believe and what you feel stuck is. Okay. So if you used to believe that stuck is where you are right now, okay, well, since you're listening to me and you're getting motivated and inspired by me, I believe that you are no longer stuck. I believe that you are now searching for like reasons and help and strategies to become unstuck. Therefore, you're no longer stuck. Do you see how you start changing your brain? It's little by little. You don't start taking fucking massive leaps, right? You start by going step by step by step. And I think that's a really important thing. I think it's an important concept. I think that that is something that we all need to do more of, is the step-by-step process of changing our thoughts. The second thing I want to tell you is you really need to be conscious and really start paying attention to what is coming out of your mouth and what is coming out of, your brain and your thoughts. So many of us just are literally zombies, and we go through our days and we let the media and we let we let the media influence us, and then we allow influencers in our lives. And an influencer in our life is completely anybody and anything that influences us, right? So it could be your supervisor, it could be your coworkers, could be your parents, it could be a spouse, friends, anything. It could be actual, what we call quote unquote influencers on social media. It could be any of that, and they influence you. You have got to put yourself around people that are only going to influence you in a positive way, that are only going to make you feel better, that are only going to bring you up. This is key. This is why, side note, I created what's called the Next Level Mastermind, the Next Level First Responder Mastermind / Roundtable. This is the exact same reason why, is because I was so sick of having low level conversations. I don't like when people call me and you want to shoot the breeze, and shooting the breeze is not talking about growing our minds and world domination and shit like that. It's actually we're going to talk shit about other people. We're going to bitch about the pandemic. We're going to bitch about shit we don't have control over. I have no time for that. And I was sitting there a week ago, and I'm like, there's got to be somebody else who just feels like me. Because I know that when I'm around inspirational people, when I'm around people that are going places, I feel better about myself. When I'm around people who bring me down, who you are so insecure with themselves, they use me to make themselves feel better, I feel like shit, right? They'll put me down. They'll tell me, you're nothing, you're going nowhere, you're fucking crazy, you're dumb, whatever. You're never gonna succeed. You shouldn't do this. You're making a fool of yourself. All these things. When people tell you that, and you're around people who say that to you, even if they are just busting your balls, which I know a lot of our coworkers do, but if you're around that all the time, family, let me tell you something, you're going to start believing all of that. Energy is no good for you. And it is so important that you become around people that are inspiring and uplifting. So if you are interested in that, I want you to listen to what I'm saying right now. So the Next Level First Responder Mastermind / Roundtable, we begin May 18th, and we kick that off with an expert interview live. So you get to come on to my interview, where I'm interviewing Lieutenant Colonel David Grossman, the author of the book On Combat, On Killing, and now he just dropped one with our friend Adam Davis, who has been on the podcast. It's called Spiritual Combat. And he is going to be coming on, and members of the mastermind literally get to talk with him, and he's so looking forward to it. He's like, Autumn, I can't wait. Send the questions, send the people, the more questions, the better. Every single month, every member of my group is going to be able to get an opportunity to talk about experts, other first responders in our field of money, business, fitness, mindset, all these different topics that are going to be growing your life exponentially, just really life altering, life changing topics. If you're in our mastermind, you get to talk to these experts. Every single month, we're having experts come in. Every single month, not only do you get that call, you get another call with me. You get coaching. The entire group gets to come on the call. We're all going to talk to each other, kind of check in, see where everybody is. And you get one-on-one coaching with me. You're going to be a part of a very exclusive private Facebook group where it's only these amazing high-level first responders in there. Every month we're going to be having a book. So we kind of have a book club, but it'd be the Audible version. So, you can, if you can read a book every single month, then I envy the hell out of you. But I'm suggesting that everybody get Audible, and we're going to listen to a book every month together, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to reflect. There's a ton of other bonuses. I mean, this just truly is going to be life-changing. This really is for the next level first responder, and spouses are welcome. If you are a spouse of a first responder, And if you're wondering if you are allowed in, if you're like, Autumn, this sounds for me, but I don't know if I'm qualified, I want you to reach out to me. If you're interested at all, I want you to reach out to me. This is for you. This is going to be the next level. It's going to be the next best thing that you've, like, honestly, like, you've seen out there. I'm so excited. This is going to be out of this world. I've never seen anything like it for us. I wished I had this when I was on patrol. It's going to be amazing. If you are interested on how to join, if this piques your interest, if you have questions at all, because I know I'm skipping like everything, all you need to do is just reach out to me. You can message me on Facebook. You can message me on Instagram. You can email me, autumn@autumnclifford.com. Get a hold of me. Let's talk about it. Let's chat about it. Anyways, so we're going to continue with our episode. The idea is that if you are feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you are not where you want to be, you feel like you just can't get out of your own way, you just need to go back and you need to understand that it's really just your perception. And the best thing that you could use and the best thing that you could do is literally change your perspective. One of the things that I'm really good at is changing my own perspective, but changing my client's perspective, changing anyone's perspective that's listening to me, because I just feel like what happens is we see one way of looking at we see one way of looking at things, and it's not always the best way. You know, we see things, we're like, okay, this is it. This is the absolute truth. Well, if you're a cop, you know that that's not true, because there's always 3 sides to everything, right? But not only that, if we go back and like think about things in our mind, like, it's the truth to us, right? Like, when I was just in such a mind fuck and like was telling myself that I'm fat, you know, that was people around me were like, well, that's not the ultimate truth. That's just what your truth is. And that's what's going on with you. It's just your truth. Okay. You know, of I'm stuck, or I'm not good enough, or I'm not getting promoted, or I'm in my own way and it's just things are shitty, right? Like, I'm telling you, that's your perspective. And so you need to change your perspective. So the question becomes, well, how do I do that? Well, I taught you just a few minutes ago about your thoughts. I'm telling you, you need to pay attention to who you're surrounding yourself with. If, you know, we become the sum of the 5 people we spend most of our time with. And I don't know about you, but I sat down and did a really good look around, and I was like, shit, I don't want to end up that way. And a lot of it used to be my coworkers that I'd work with. You know, guys that I really, you know, I like, but I'm like, shit, like, I don't want to end up like you, fucking miserable. Every time we go car to car, you're just miserable. You hate your life. You hate your job. You don't like your spouse. You hate your body. You know what I mean? Like, all you do is focus on days off. And I'm just like, shit, like, that's not the life that I want. So I really had to refocus, and I had to, you know, hang out with different people. And so I spend my time with different kinds of people that are looking to grow, expand their mind, have, you know, jobs, careers, businesses that they absolutely love. I'd love to be around people who are looking to change the world in some way. And that makes me happy. I love people who are just constantly trying to better themselves. Like, I love that. I like people who don't like to plateau. You know, or once they reach a destination, they're ready to go to another one. You know, once you set a goal and you reach that goal, I love people who are motivated to go to their next goal. Like, that makes me feel really, really good, and inspired. And it makes me feel like I want to be around more people like that. So I hope that you can, you know, I hope you learned something. I hope you took something away from this. I hope you can understand and you can now see that it's really just in your head, and that you're not really stuck. And no matter what, it doesn't matter what you tell me. I mean, any situation can be looked at differently. You are not stuck. I mean, we have paraplegics. I mean, we have people with literally no limbs at all, and they're like kicking ass at life. Look at, like, you know, Travis Mills. He got blown up. I think he had either all 3 limbs. I think he had 3 limbs taken off, blown up over in Iraq. or Afghanistan. And he's killing it right now. He's doing such amazing things. And so, and he's just one, but he's the one, obviously, he lives in Maine. So he obviously comes to my mind. But there's so many amazing people who have gone through casualties. I've had somebody on here and on the podcast who talked about that, who's gone through that. Who's now paralyzed from the waist down, and, he's a cop, and what he's doing. We have a lot of people persevering. I'm telling you, your circumstances aren't as bad as you think they are. It's just a lot of it's in your mind. Okay. And so you got to flip your perspective. And if you need help, you need some support, I'm telling you, this mastermind, it's a 6-month mastermind. It's called the Next Level First Responder. There is absolutely nothing out there like it. I promise. Because anything and everything I do is fucking amazing, number one. And number two, it's completely unique. Number 3, nobody does things like I do. You know what I'm saying? So, if that sounds like, if you're like, yeah, like I want to talk to experts, like I want to talk to people, chiefs and commanders of 800 person departments, and I want to talk to experts like Colonel Grossman, and I want to talk to people like other cops who are, the best in the world at what they do, then, you need to come in and you need to get into the Next Level Mastermind. We begin May 18th there. Total 10 slots. 2 of them are already spoken for, and so we have 8 slots left. If you are interested, reach out to me. Sheepdogs, I'll see you next time.